Excited? Yeah? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're like, whoo. So a few things. We're gonna go over products that we currently are not gonna be changing because we are getting ready to go through our big innovation training that's gonna be coming in, or we change things, and this year we're gonna include a new product. So there's a lot of things that are gonna be moving around. So I just wanna focus on things that are not gonna be changing, so we're not confused. When we roll something out that's new and you're like, wait a minute, that's not what I learned, right? Just because we're always changing. So we're gonna focus today on, our top products, and we're gonna do more of the honeycombs because right now it's weather time where it's gonna start to get hot and people are gonna wanna have some type of insulation, and usually it's our honeycomb collection that really just is a big push. So what we'll focus on today is honeycombs, and then we'll focus on pirouette. And then what we can do, if everybody feels okay, we can keep going. If not, we can regroup after because it's a lot to take in, okay? So does everybody feel comfortable with our lifting systems? Have you had a chance to see the difference in lifting systems? Yes, pretty much? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll do a quick overview, right? So what we're gonna do today is our agenda is duets, sonettes, and pirouettes. To start off with, okay? We're not gonna highlight provenance just because we're changing the product, and we are not gonna go over Design Studio because there's gonna be some updates with that as well too, so I don't wanna confuse you. And then we'll keep going as we move along, just to make sure you guys feel comfortable with everything, okay? Awesome. So it's just a quick overview of everything, making it simple when you are in front of the customer. There is a lot of information and we can get real technical, but as long as we know the basics, I think that will help us when we're in the consumer's home and having a better understanding, okay? All right, so basically our lifting systems are labeled a little different. You hear out in the competition or out in the streets, cordless and continuous cord loops and all sorts of different things as far as names for lifting systems. We're fancy, so we have certain names for certain things, and so we'll highlight some of those, and some of them are a proprietary lifting system, so nobody else in the industry will have that lifting system, so it'll make it easier for you guys to sell, okay? So we'll focus on that as well. All right, so first thing is cordless, and I don't know if it's frozen. Okay, so maybe here. Oh, it's not moving.
Is it changing on your iPad and just not up there?
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody else, maybe turn your Wi-Fi off if it's trying to grab the mirror screen? Yeah, I'm just on the guest wireless. That maybe, maybe try reconnecting. I'm sorry.
Let me see if I can. Get out of this baby real quick.
You shouldn't have to put in the password now, but...
Okay, here we are. Let's try it one more time, see if we're golden. No, new slide. Okay. And we should be... the way out. New slide. Okay, I'm not quite sure why we're not able to see it as a presentation. Camera tables, design, slideshow. Okay, here we go. All right, so and it is not working. Okay, here we go. Okay, so lifting systems, right? So we have Light Rise, we have Easy Rise, we have Ultra Glide, we have Soft Touch Motorization, and then we have Power View, right? So Soft Touch Motorization and Power View are two different animals. So I'm sure you guys have touched a little bit on Power View, right? We'll do a quick refresher today too, just so you feel comfortable with it, because we sell tons of motorization in our market, okay? So we'll start off with Light Rise. Oh, it doesn't work.
The heck? Do you want me to? Oh, there you go. Oh, it's just maybe a little lag.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is yours faster because you're on a laptop, maybe? Or is
I'm on an iPad too, but yeah, mine is no problem.
Do you want me to log off and then you can just get
It's up
on?
to you.
Yeah, because mine is
Sorry
super
about this.
slow.
I know this is frustrating. I just
No, that's okay.
trying to capture all this.
It's not as frustrating as it is when she does this in our office because nothing works.
Really? The only thing though, if I do that, I don't think I can screen record. I think we had a problem with that
Frank
last.
and I have a poster board and easel in the car.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big
Well,
Pictionary?
that's fine. I can, I'll just go slow. Not a problem. That way you can record.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Technology.
Right.
We love it, and then we're like hating it.
The only other thing I could do is put it on here and do it on the. If this really becomes an issue, is maybe do it on here and then just cast up there,
Okay.
and that way I don't disrupt the recording. Maybe I don't know if we feel we need to go that route.
I think we should be fine. We'll just,
That's weird that it's doing that.
yeah. So just wait till my Light Rise lights comes up. There we go. Okay. So Light Rise is what we know on the field as cordless. Okay, like remember I told you we like fancy words? So our version of Light Rise or cordless is Light Rise. So basically it is a manual lifting system because we have to go to the shade, and with the handle that you see there at the bottom bar, we raise and lower, okay? So it is a clean look. It is great for child safety and pet safety as well too. So something to consider. But it is hard to reach, so you also have to think about where you're gonna be putting a Light Rise lifting system, because if it's behind a couch where your window's located, it's gonna be really hard for your customer to reach it. So that's not gonna be an ideal application for your consumer. Then we have Easy Rise, right? So Easy Rise out in the field is known as continuous cord loop, right? So it's an easy operation. You're basically with the cord raising and lowering. You are pulling one direction to raise the shade and then the opposite direction to lower your shade, okay? You do see a tensioner there on the window frame. By law, we have to have the tensioner on the window frame for child safety. So if your installer installs it and your customer absolutely hates it, when we leave, they can do whatever they want. It's their house, right? But when we're there, we have to have the tensioner installed in the window.
Does it drill into the frame, or is it just?
Yeah, well, it's basically, you can use a drill, or it's a regular nail that you can actually screw in with a screwdriver, so it's not a,
But it doesn't
Big
go into
deal.
the window.
No.
It goes into like your trim. Or
the trim, or if not, sometimes if there's no trim area, it could be on like the sheetrock of the opening, so, but it is something that we have to install, okay? So after we leave, they can do whatever they want.
If they alter it, does that change the warranty at all?
It does not change the warranty on the product itself or the mechanism, because we don't know that they took it off. But, you know, for our sake and for your sake, for liability, we have to have it. Okay. All right, so Ultra Glide is our proprietary lifting system. Nobody else out in the field has this lifting system. It is a retractable cord that when you operate the cord or the wand, you see two different looks. In May, you'll see wands only. No more cords because of child safety. So wands is the way we're gonna go. And basically when you're pulling on that wand, it's retracting back to the original size of that wand. So the wand's not all over the floor, or if it's reachable for a child to get, we don't want anybody to get hurt. So it does retract right back to the cord length of the shade, okay? Now, could I overwrite the cord length? We can, because sometimes we may have somebody that's smaller or taller, right? So maybe a little harder to reach. But regardless, because it is child-proof and pet-proof, it does retract back to the normal size. So nothing will be on the floor. We don't have to worry about anybody getting hurt, Okay?
So you said May only ones?
May only once, yes sir. All right, so soft touches are motorization that's less expensive than PowerView. It is gonna require the consumer to go up to the shade. There is a wand that has a magnetic piece on the top that will allow us to activate the shade, right? So we can tug up to the wand, so we pull it up, the shade will set in motion and go up, you tug down, and then the shade comes right down as well too, okay? So it's an alternative. If they wanna have motorization and wanna still have that whole feel of PowerView, we can do soft touch motorization at a less price point, basically. Okay, so child-proof, pet-proof, no cords, clean look, okay?
Is there any benefit to this versus PowerView in terms of battery life or anything like that? It's about the same.
Actually, I think you waste more battery life with soft touch because you have to be going to it and moving it all the time versus PowerView, you're setting timers and limits, so the shades are just operating on their own.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
but it is good if somebody's like, hey, budget's a little more than I want to do. Can we move a few things around and still have motorization? Absolutely, this would be a good option.
Okay.
Okay.
And then pricing, just difference between soft touch, PowerView?
So usually for soft touch
Okay.
motorization, it could be anywhere from 120 to 150 per shade. Motorization could be anywhere from 175 on up,
Okay.
you know, depending on how many motors we need in a shade or
Okay.
the product that we're working with. So it can save you some money, for
Okay.
sure.
Cool. Thank you.
Did you say that one is detachable?
For soft touch motorization, yes, it's magnetic. So,
they can just remove it when they're not using it?
right. So, and if we have to replace it, it's easy for the customer to just pop it back in.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we are doing light rise, just so you know, light rise is a feature that has a surcharge. So anytime we do a light rise lifting system, the customer's paying $120 per shade extra for light rise. Okay. And it just depends on the product that we're working with, but the majority of our products will have a surcharge for certain lifting systems. Okay.
What's the most popular?
So for manual, everybody still loves Easy Rise because we can go very wide with Easy Rise. So it's just an easier operation for the customer because there's cord. But you know, light rise does well too, just depending on where we're putting it, just because it's hard to reach. But, and then of course motorization, yeah. So we do have our new platform that we launched last year. It's PowerView Gen 3. So when you guys are ordering the system, everything says Gen 3. We're excited about this platform just because it is Bluetooth technology. It allows us to have better signal in the home with the help of different accessories, one being a gateway to help us. But we do a lot with PowerView, and as we're talking about energy efficiency and just being able to offer the consumers a sense of security, PowerView is the product to go with, the platform, just because we can set the timers, people can think we're home, but we're on vacation, I'm saving energy, it's convenient, and who doesn't want an app, right? Everybody, we live off of apps, it's crazy. But, you know, this is another way for you to have an app that is free for you to do so many other things, because I can integrate with Alexa, with Google Home, my Apple Watch. I could also do third-party integration, Control 4, Savant, Lutron, not yet, but Creston. So there's a lot of other integrators that we can work with, okay? So if somebody tells you, can you integrate? Absolutely. So there's different ways of ordering motorization, right? So the first way is, which I highly recommend, before we launched rechargeable batteries, we had traditional batteries, 12 AA batteries. Yikes, right? That's expensive. Every time we have to replace, you're swapping out those batteries. So now we launched, as of last year, the rechargeable battery option, which is really nice and convenient, because now I can take down my battery wand from my shade as a consumer and maybe put it in a docking station for it to charge, or if I have the battery wands ready in the docking station that you see here on my picture, I can pull that one and install it and I'm ready to go. Like, I never skip a beat, which is really nice with rechargeable batteries. Plus, my PowerView app is gonna tell me the lifespan of my battery. And if your consumer is pretty savvy and they wanna get alerts, we can text them and tell them, hey, your battery is at 85% lifespan. 20%. It's time to change batteries or charge batteries, whatever it is that we're doing. Okay? So we help you along the way, so your consumer is aware of when it's time for us to change the batteries. Okay? So it's a 1-year battery lifespan, right? So it can work up to, for the lifespan of the battery, we can charge it up to 500 times. And so really, it could last a pretty good amount of time. I've had mine since we launched this because I was a pilot, and it's been 2 years and I haven't had to change my battery yet. But I have it on a timer, so I'm not always messing with my shades. So that's something to consider. A lot of our batteries are headrail mount. What that means is that we have a clip behind the headrail where we house that battery, okay? We also have satellite mount. And the reason why we do satellite mount is if we have minimal mounting depths, I may not have enough room for that battery to be clipped on the headrail. So my installer is gonna have to get a little creative and maybe put that battery somewhere else, on top, on the side of the window frame, wherever it is convenient for your customer to pull that battery to charge it or replace it, okay? So that's something that your installer will hopefully advise in the beginning. As you're starting to work more with our shades, you'll feel comfortable with it. But the majority of our products are headrail mount. Wouldn't you say, Carrie, for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just have to be mindful that there's going to be a cord running from this wand to the
To a satellite, yeah.
to a satellite.
No, to
Oh,
the
or-
product, but it's a
Yeah.
small cord. You
To-
can't see it.
Okay.
The only time you'll see a cord is if I'm doing a single charge application where I have a longer cord to connect to the battery to the outlet, and that's a 2-hour charge.
Okay.
But if I'm doing the docking station, which is our favorite, I have batteries ready to go because they've been charging. I can just take that battery one and replace it. So you'll never see my cord. Now, you will see cords sometimes for a satellite mount, depending on how the installer installs it, okay? But we also need to make it accessible for the customer to go ahead and get those batteries. Because if not, they're gonna be calling you and saying, hey, can you come and take it down? Can you do this? You know, so we wanna make it easier for them. Also, there's a lot of older products out there. As long as they're PowerView, we can retrofit their existing battery wands. Remember we told you 12 batteries we were having to replace as we use our products. So if they tell you, hey, I'm done replacing batteries, I want to see if you can do the rechargeable battery option for me, or if you hear them complaining about that, by all means, introduce the rechargeable retro kit to them, saying, yes, we can help you. We can retrofit these with rechargeable batteries so you don't have to change batteries anymore, okay? So the kit is available.
Just clarify, 1 year battery life, that means it should last that long, or after 1 year your battery's dead and you need a new one?
No, it should last that long.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm going on year 2 on mine, and mine are fine.
And you haven't charged it.
So, I still, I mean, again, but I have it on timers, so I'm not constantly moving my
So it's being
shades.
used
Yeah.
efficiently. But
But if somebody gets creative, or they're like, hey, I wanna show off my shades, my buddies are in town, and you're just going crazy with it, yeah, you know, for a whole week, maybe that may deplete batteries a little quicker. But you do always have the choice of just charging. Every time that you order a docking station, you know, Carrie and the team will make sure you have extra battery wands ordered as well. That way they're charging and you're replacing. The customer's replacing and not having to worry about, now I have to wait 2 to 3 hours for my battery charge, okay? All right, so PowerView Plus automation, this is a little different. So we talked about the rechargeable battery option, which is PowerView. Then we also have PowerView Hardwire, and then we have PowerView Plus. So PowerView Plus focuses on a low voltage wiring in the consumer's home. So this is usually like pre-construction, or if we're doing a full remodel, and they don't want to worry about battery options, then we could always talk to them about PowerView Plus automation. It does not require any type of batteries. It is a very quiet motor just because it is hardwired. And it is only available in certain products, right? If we really want to do the plus, and the reason why we say plus is because most of the products that I have listed here can go pretty wide and pretty long, okay? and which is great for us because we have a quiet motor. But these are the products as of today that are available with PowerView Plus only. Okay, so you have Silhouette, you have Pirouette, which we're going to talk about, designer rollers, and designer screens. Okay, but again, this is pre-construction or remodel. If you're already in the home and they don't have any wires, then it's going to be rechargeable battery, which I would say is about 85% of our business right now is just rechargeable batteries.
For sure.
So,
And about 46 to 50% of our business is with some element of power, just so y'all have that. Most of our projects have some element of power involved.
So, but this is another, and typically when we start working with hardwire, most of our dealers use HDIS just because our guys are trained, they're versed with our wires. The house may be wired already, and the only question that you're going to ask your customer is, what kind of wire do we have? Is it low voltage or is it a 120? And then we can go from there, okay? So sometimes your customer doesn't even know and may put you in touch with an electrician. And at that point, you know, Carrie or Mike or Hunter Douglas can help you make the right decision as far as what kind of platform we're going to use, if it's going to be the Plus or just a regular PowerView. Okay, anytime that you use low voltage, there's accessories we have to order. There is a box called a 16 Smart Power Supply box, and that's how we run the wires to our products and to the existing wiring that's already in the home. So again, that's just more stuff. When we get there, let us know and we'll walk you through it, just because we don't do this as often, okay? So, and when we do, we go back and we try to give you the best solution. So we'll work through PowerView Plus with you guys whenever it does come up. All right, so any questions about the lifting systems and rechargeable batteries and all that good stuff? No? Okay, cool. Yep. So, like I said, we're gonna focus on honeycomb. So Duet is our baby. We actually, Hunter Douglas, invented honeycomb shades. Ooh, 100 years ago, we invented them, and we were so excited because
How many years ago?
we've been in business for 100 years. So I want to say they launched the first honeycomb in 1920 or 1930, and it was in Germany, the Sonnenbergs, in their living room. They experimented with honeycomb and energy efficiency and how to string it and everything else. As we still have the machine in one of our plants. We don't use it anymore because obviously it's pretty super old, but it's so cool. So now you can see so many honeycombs out there, but it's not a Hunter Douglas honeycomb, and we invented honeycombs, so it's pretty cool. So this is our #1 selling product, okay? We still have a patent on the Architella, not the honeycomb, because you can see honeycombs anywhere you go, right? But I'll talk about the Architella in a few minutes. Really what sets us apart is the fact that we created honeycomb. We have a variety of different color options. I mean, you can get overwhelmed with our books as soon as you open them just because there's so many colors. There's also different kind of materials, a lot of polyesters, a lot of satins, you know, just to make the honeycombs look different with better texture and just make it look more of a higher end product, which is a higher end product, but just to give you all that fun on color trend that we offer. And we're constantly changing fabrics just because we want to be on trends with what's going on with our market. So, all right, so what are the benefits of Duet? UV protection is huge here in Texas. Why? Because we want to cover flooring, you know, artwork, furniture. So our products offer UV protection. So when the honeycomb is in the down position, it will help with your UV protection that's coming into your home. It's energy efficient as well too. This is one of our top energy efficient products, and this is one of the products that has a tax credit as well too, because it has Architella. It's actually a pocket within a pocket of our honeycomb that traps that heat and that cool air, so we can offer you the energy efficiency that you need in your home. Another plus with our Duet product is that it absorbs sound. So this is really cool. So if we, you know, I don't know if you guys live in a busy street or not, but we always get this from customers, like, it's so loud, I can hear this, I can hear that. You know, this is a great product to trap some of that sound. So energy efficiency and sound, that's a plus, right? It does have minimal stacking, but it does have a stack because there's no way the fabric can disappear anywhere, okay? So it's there, small stack on the top, but it's also a small head rail. So it makes it easier for us to install it when we have minimal mounting depths, which is great. This is my go-to product for stuff like that. We have multiple options and opacities and all the great stuff, so we'll go over that in a few minutes. But this is my favorite picture with the house because it just shows you how much heat it traps. And in your book, it actually highlights the percentage and what the difference is without having a honeycomb in a window. So it's really neat. So whenever you get a moment, just go through it so you can see the difference.
Is that Architella like proprietary to Honeycomb?
Yeah, that's what sets us apart. Yeah, it's just really cool. So that's how we can trap everything, heat and sound. All right, so what are your manual operations for Duet, right? And you'll start hearing the same lifting systems going from one collection to another. So that's how we make it simple for you. But you do have Ultra Glide with the one, you have Light Rise, and you have Easy Rise. Now, the difference here is, remember I told you some lifting systems have a surcharge, some don't. For Duet, we have free Ultra Glide, meaning that it's standard with the pricing. And then Light Rise is also a standard feature, so we don't pay extra. Now, if they want Ultra Glide, then that's when we start charging for the upgrade of Ultra Glide or Power View, okay? So these are your, if price is an issue and they really love the fabric, then maybe we push them through a manual option so we don't have to charge them to upgrade the lifting system, okay? So you have the Easy Rise, and then you have the Ultra Glide that is at no charge, and you guys have Light Rise, Duet or Plus? I think you have both, right?
No, we only have Light Rise on the Plus.
Okay, so scratch off free Light Rise on Duet, sorry. So it's Easy Rise and Ultra Glide that are free for Duet. Light Rise is $120 surcharge. Okay, and then of course Power has a surcharge as well too.
Why is it that Light Rise is more?
Light Rise because of the handle that we have. So it's going to be more of a upcharge versus the cording, and for child safety to keep it more on the whole hands-free, no cord option. Okay. But we give you some free lifting systems, which Carrie can talk to you guys about in some of our collections.
Cool.
Okay. All right, so we talked about the benefits of Power View motorization, you know, the energy efficiency, you can do battery operated, right? And then, like I said, we can go pretty wide with some of our fabric options with Duet. So if we're motorizing and you guys know, you walk into homes, windows are huge, you guys sell windows and people just want a better view outside, and the bigger the better. We live in Texas, right? So if we have a bigger window and we just don't know what to do, but they want motorization, this kind of gives you a guide of how wide and how long I can go with motorization, okay? So basics on lifting systems, and then now we move on to design options. You know, what else does Duet do besides Architella and the different pleat sizes that we carry? We call these design options. Dual Light is one of them. And I don't know if you have, can we bring it in? I'm gonna make you be Urbana, is that okay? And then we have a Dual Light in here. Let's have them come up. Yeah, that's the first page. There it is. Okay. So basically what Dual Light is you get the best of both worlds. You get a light filtering fabric in the front, which usually it's a sheet, and then you get a room darkening fabric in the bottom. We have a moving rail, okay? So right here, you see that Light Rise handle. That's the moving rail that separates my sheer option and my room darkening option, okay? So if somebody wants to have, because remember with Duet, we just roll it up and there's a stack. It doesn't disappear. And you want to have privacy, right? So if I can have that sheer part open where natural light comes in with my sheer and still have privacy in the bottom, you know, it's a great opportunity for the customer to enjoy their duets instead of having to raise it all the way up to have light come in. So we do sell quite a bit of dual light just because it gives you that sheer option. Where the moving rail is located at, if you drop down and you, with the handle with light rise, if you push it down, it will give you a complete sheer fabric at the window. And then I can raise up that room darkening fabric all the way to the top, and that's my privacy. So basically I can give you room darkening and light filtering in one product. And that's called dual light. And you'll hear dual light as we move along with our collections, just because it's more of our room darkening feel in a room, okay?
Is the stack on that, say like double a normal shade that wasn't a dual light? Are you gonna have a wider stack because you have two basic?
It's actually it's about a 6 to 7 inch stack. It's not huge.
Okay.
When we do it vertically, because there's also a vertical application, it's a 9-inch stack, no matter what size it is. So it's not like overwhelming where you're just like, oh, I hate it. I can't see out. But it's important for you to let people know that it does have a stack.
Yeah.
So 6 and 7 is really not bad. 6 to 7 inches, depending on the pleat size as well too, because we have smaller pleats and then we have larger pleats. But you know, the majority of the time when they have a dual product and you have dual light, you probably won't be raising it just because you have a sheer, you know, and you can look out. Maybe raising just to clean if you want to clean your windows, right? So that's an option. So we do hide the metal railing to separate the product with our fabric. There's some manual lifting system options for this. You can do easy rise, you can do ultra glide, you can do light rise. And then you can also do power beam waterization. Okay, so those are your options there.
So these can be added on the doors too?
Yes, sir, they can.
But does it have to be a wood skin door?
When you say wood skin, what do you mean by that?
Like the doors that we offer probably are here or fiberglass.
Okay.
They can't be screwed into. Do these have to be screwed into?
They do. They have brackets.
Okay.
And then we also have the magnetic hold downs that hold them in the bottom as you're going into the house, so they're not swinging all over the place. So yeah, we would have to drill in somehow.
Are the magnetic available on top too, or no?
No, just the bottom.
And it still screws in, it's just a magnetic clamp
Oh, gotcha.
that grabs the product.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, so you can have that. So our next design option is top down, bottom up. So if your customer does not want a dual light, but still wants to have privacy and see outside, we can offer them a top down, bottom up version. So the shade opens from the top to the bottom or from the bottom to the top. Okay, you still have that moving rail in the middle to separate and make sure that you can have the ability to see outside and still have privacy. We do a lot of top down, bottom up in restrooms, right? So like if you don't want anybody to see your goods, but you want to see outside, then you can cover whatever you don't want anybody to see, right? So you do have that option, but it is one of our top design options. We sell a lot of top down, bottom up.
Yeah.
So, okay,
It's kind of cool.
that's pretty cool. So we can do manual and we could also do power view with this design option, okay? All right, so we have horizontal applications and we also have vertical applications. We have what we call vertical wide, and it's one of my favorites as well too because we use it for quite a few things. For large window spans, for sliding glass doors, sometimes we can even use it for dividers, depending on what you want to do. For lofts, I saw one that was just done in a loft and it was really cool to divide the room. It's really neat. So you do have that option. This is where we do have a small minimal stack. So it is very nice to you know, let people know, like, no matter what size we have, we're gonna have like a 9-inch stack on the side. And this is just like drapery, so I can do a right stack, a left stack, or I can do a center stack, okay? So we have a solution for your room, for your house. We can do horizontal with duet and vertical. Now, the vertical light option, if we're motorizing this option, you can do a dual function on this where I can, if I can't find my remote or I just don't want to mess with the app, I can go to the shade and open and close it, traverse it, or I can use my remote. So I can do manual or power, which is pretty cool, okay? But we have options for pretty much anything in the honeycomb collection. Now you can do specialty windows with honeycomb as well. Some of them will be stationary, but we can do circles, we can do arches, we can do side lights. So there's quite a few things that we can do with this collection.
So that's available with the Arcatella, Argentella?
Yes, love it. Woo woo. Arcatella. Yeah, it's a duet. And then you also have it with Applause. So Applause is just the sister of Duet, 15% less, and the fabrics are not as pretty. There's pretty fabrics, but I mean, you can tell the difference because it is a lower price point product, but it does exactly the same as Duet. The only thing that it does not include Arcatella, because Arcatella has to be in Duet because that's our Cadillac, right? And then it does not include Light Lock and Track Light, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But I can do dual light, I can do a vertical light with Applause, I could also do top down, bottom up with Applause. But if somebody's like, hey, it's too expensive, I wanna stay here, well then I pull out my Applause book and we'll look at fabrics. Okay, so 10 to 15% less than Duet. But because you guys go in and you can sell it all day long, Duet it is. So you guys can do it.
Do it.
For that
We
side.
can do it.
You can
Do it.
You can do it.
Duet.
So for that style, on a sliding door, with, no motorization, ballpark price.
Yikes, really in the spot.
Ballpark price.
Man,
$1,000,
You have to come out
yeah.
to your
Thousands?
house.
Thousands, yeah.
couple
that
thousand.
size, that's a big.
Yeah, I would say that probably would be a $3,000 shape.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for the sliding door.
Mhm.
For 6 foot wide by center.
That's without automation?
That's without automation, yeah.
Whoa,
Okay,
okay.
good enough.
But it's fabric, right? I mean, Duet is, I'm giving you the whole 9 yards. It could be less, right? But I would say about 3,000. Vertical lights typically are anywhere from 2 to 3 starting price.
Do we do a lot of doors?
We do a lot of doors, we don't do a lot of this product on doors.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a lot of sliders.
Really?
Yeah, there's other options too, which is kind
Yeah.
of cool. But you have this to do a complete look instead of like mixing things around. Hey, it's here if you need it. Okay. All right, so we do Skylift as well too. Skylift is very common in Alamo Heights. We do a lot of those in Alamo Heights because of the skylights, right? So we can cover a skylight up to 80 square feet using this Skylift product. You can motorize it, or you can do a manual crank. Don't do that to your customer. If you're gonna do this, you're gonna motorize it, Or if they're never gonna open it, then maybe that's an option. But I mean, that's torture. I mean, just cranking. So we don't wanna do that. But it's an option if they wanna do it, and motorization is typically what we do for a Skylift. Okay,
Gotta work to get to that battery.
right? So we wanna make sure we get it going. So we don't do much of track light because this is a different type of window. It's a European style tilt turn window that tilts inward, right? Very different. We don't have them here yet in Texas. There's certain areas of the United States that carry this type of window. But this is ideal for doors, for French doors, just because it doesn't give you any projection. It doesn't swing all over the place because it does have a adhesive track that actually attaches to your door, your window frame door of the French door, and it keeps it in place. So less light bleeding, no projection, but overall Duet does a great job anyway to secure the light.
When you say adhesive track, are you still referring to hardware to attach it, or?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
hardware attachment,
Okay.
yes. So we don't do much of this. I mean, I think we've sold here in my territory maybe like 20, which is doors, that's it. But it's there if you want it, and if they want something that's gonna be closer to your door, you have the track light option, and it's good for French doors. This is my favorite, Light Lock. So rollers and screens are known to have channels to block out a lot of light, right? If they tell you, hey, I want room darkening just because I'm a doctor, I sleep during the day and I work at night, or I just want this for my media room. Light Lock is my favorite just because it does have a channel that goes inside the window framing to secure all the bleeding that comes through, and really just give you a nice room darkening feel in a room. So it is a room darkening fabric. We can't do a light filtering because it defeats the purpose, right? So it has to be a room darkening fabric with light lock, and we can do light rise with this. We could also do power beam motorization with it. There are some limitations on what we can do for the pleats, so it has to be a 3/4 pleat size for it. But there's different colors on the actual channel that go into the window. So we can coordinate with the fabric. If you want a different color, you could always let us know. So we have the aspen, the white, the gardenia, and the white, and the bronze. So.
The bottom picture shows no light seeping in at all.
Mm-hmm.
Do I remember from our previous lessons, Carrie, that there's always a little bit of light seeping in?
On the roller shades,
On
we
the
had
roller
found
shades.
that there was some seepage.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember in Burning Right, turned off the lights
Yeah.
and showed you that duet there was really no light coming through other than from the back of the, because we have that clear.
So
on the
it's
side.
accurate to say with this product,
This is gonna give
zero
you.
light.
Zero light, and I'll show you. So this is what it looks from the outside. So this is our like sunroom that we test all our products in. And we test them in different environments. Actually in Colorado, then we do a lot of in Arizona, especially for honeycomb for heat. But this is a really nice demonstration of how from the outside in, there's no light bleeding anywhere, which is really neat. It is a true room darkening type of product just because Duet overall does a good job, even without channels, to block some of that light bleeding as well too, because it's a smaller head rail. There's hardly any projection. And usually when you're doing something like this, it's gonna be an inside mount anyway. So it's something that you can feel comfortable and say, this is my truly room darkening option. Here it is.
So it's darkening the light as much as possible. Is it doing anything for heat?
It does.
It does?
But it's not certified yet for the tax credits because our government is still testing to determine if it's truly an insulator, but it's a honeycomb. So it insulates, and you know, if you trap the light with the channels, it's like a double whammy, and it's great with sound as well.
Doesn't they add the channels afterwards? Like, so they get it, and they're like, it's not quite dark enough as I want it, can I add the channels?
We cannot. It has to be ordered all at the same time.
The shade
Channels
is
and shades.
specific to the channels.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So,
So Duet with the light lock is going to give the best light control.
yes. I love it better than the rollers with channels because there's still a lot of bleeding with rollers and channels and screen shades.
lot.
And people are upset. And remember, windows are like sheetrock and everything else is uneven. We have wonky windows. I'm sure you guys know that when you install, you're like, what the heck happened here?
Yeah.
So we experience a lot of that too. And our installers typically say, hey, your window's out of square. Just so you know, we're not going to be able to make all of this work. We'll do our very best cosmetically to hide as much as we can, but it may require extra things like caulking and weather stripping and other stuff. So, but we can supply the installer with all of that. But it's always good just to say, hey, just so you know, window's a little out of square. We're going to do our very best. Okay?
Is that available for like circle top windows or?
No, it's
Arch
not. No, because of the tracks.
Okay.
But Duet could do arch and circles and trapezoids and side lights and just,
eyebrows?
Just
Yeah.
not total sun blockage on those.
yeah. All right, so I'm gonna skip provenance just because we have a new book coming, so I don't wanna confuse you, and we're changing a lot of stuff on here, so we're
And
gonna.
that's happening in May, so that's.
So,
right
yeah.
around the corner.
And if you guys run into a situation where you do have somebody who's inquiring about provenance, we can walk you through it. But your books will get here before our launch anyway, so you'll get familiar with it, and we'll do training on it. Any questions about Duet? Feel comfortable with it? Yeah? Okay. All right, so we're gonna focus on Sunnet. Sunnet is another type of honeycomb / roller shade product. And I'm gonna have my Vanna demonstrate our Sonnets. Oh, here they are. Sorry. So remember that I told you, and this is another product that we're getting ready to get certified by, hopefully the government will let us roll this out, but this is a product that's certified by the American Energy Rating Council already for energy efficiency. So this product basically, what it is a honeycomb roller shade in one. And the reason why I say that is because remember we talked about Duet, how it does not roll anywhere, right? There's a stack. With Sonnet, we have a cassette where we can hide the entire product, okay? So it is a roller, just like roller shades. You roll them up, they disappear in the headrail. This is the same concept. Now this will trap light as well too, just because it has the honeycomb. So it does help out with energy efficiency. It does not absorb the sound like Duet, so it doesn't do that for us, but it does give us an option of adding more dimension to your room. So instead of just having a flat layer of fabric like rollers and screens provide, this gives you a little bit more dimension, more of a feel of soft window coverings in your window. It is an easy sale just because there's 2 opacity options. You have light filtering and room darkening. That's it. Super easy.
It's the one on the right is the room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And I saw, yeah, it's cool in the window.
Yeah. So there's quite a few things as far as the function. We're always going to have for street presence, for homeowner association options, all of our products for the most part. Duet does have some options that have different street color options on the back for fabric, but Sonnet will always be white in the back, okay, and then you have your color in the front. The systems that are available in this collection are going to be Lightrise, Soft Touch, Custom Clutch, and PowerView. Custom Clutch is the beaded chain that you see in roller shades and screens, okay? So that is an option with this collection because it's just like a roller shade, right? But it does have the pockets like a honeycomb. What we can do quite a few things. We have beautiful fabric options. You also have this product also helps diffuse the light. It provides UV protection when it's in the down position, so that's great for furniture like we had talked about earlier, or flooring. And because it does have a cassette, you have some options with the cassette. I can do a cassette with no fabric, or I can do a cassette that's fabric wrapped, okay? So I'll show you in a few minutes. Oh, it's not on here. But you do have that option. Let me see if it's, oh, do we have the book somewhere? Oh, we have a hand sample. Oh, you're the best. Here it is. Now, I do want to point out that is not highlighted in this presentation is that Sonnet has kickback. So kickback, what that means is that the shade gets closer to the window to avoid light gaps, okay? So this is an awesome product. So think about rollers and screens, right? No kickback, light bleeding, right? But if I can sell them a Sonnet, save them energy efficiency, also help them out with a kickback feature to eliminate light coming into the window, right? And I can still give them a cassette option, just like a roller shade, why not? Now, if I do a Lightrise Sonnet, it's less expensive than my roller and screen collection. So just, price-wise, hey, I can offer you the best of both worlds with this product, and then also save you some money instead of going with just a regular roller or screen shade, okay? The cassette, yeah, so it's really nice. It just really gets closer to your window. So the cassette has options to be fabric wrapped, so I can do that a matted finish here with no fabric, or I can do fabric. If I do fabric, it's 10% more, okay? I could also have an exposed roll where I don't have a top treatment and it's just a roll. Okay, so
is the kickback or whatever you're talking about, is that different? Because I remember us talking about you can dictate the way they roll or whatever. Is that different or no? Am I making that up?
On a roller shade, you can dictate if it's a reverse roll or a front roll.
Okay.
I don't think we can do that on the Sonnet.
we do have the waterfall roll on this.
Yeah.
So
So it just rolls off the front.
at the front,
Okay.
just like a toilet paper roll.
Got it.
Yeah,
If you do it the right way.
yeah.
Yes, you're not a monster.
Over the top.
Wife
So
kills
this
me.
is what your exposed roll looks like right here. So no balance, right? So I can do a cassette with fabric or no fabric, and then I can just have an exposed roll, like something that you see like, at a commercial application sometimes with nothing on top of it. There's what it would look like, okay? So I can waterfall to the front. I could have kickback to the back. So you just gotta let us know what you want when you're talking to your customer. Now, would I want it to roll to the front if it's an outside mount? No, because it's gonna be a huge gap. There's gonna be a lot of light. So in that application, I'm gonna say, you know what? Let's get you closer to the window. Let's do a kickback, right? So you have some options there. If you do light rise, it is less expensive than rollers and screens. So
Do these come in different color options?
yes,
Okay.
the hardware in the book, you have a variety of
Okay, so it's
options,
all-
but we're always going to coordinate based on the fabric for you.
Okay.
But if you want to override it,
Okay, so it's kind of auto.
It's up to you,
whatever they go,
yeah.
it's attached.
the only thing with that is like if you override and you give the customer the option, it could come back and bite us in the butt because they're going to be like, I hate that red headrail. Like, why did we do that? You know what I mean?
Got you read.
So those are one deal, but you know, if they want something and they're like, I've had it before, I love it, I just want to change the hardware, absolutely, we can do that. But we're gonna pick the hardware for you, okay? We have your liners here too in your book to demonstrate the room darkening and light filtering liner. Just like Carrie had her sample, you could always get your sample book clean and just take it to the window so they can see the difference in the opacity and determine, do I really want a room darkening or do I really want a light filtering option? Okay, so then you let us know. We can do this indoors, we can do it in windows. If they have a vertical or a large window span, this coordinates really nicely with Duet Vertiglide, okay? Because it is a honeycomb, it has a pocket. So it's really nice, so you can do that as an option. And a lot of the colors in Sonnet coordinate with Duet. And even more when you guys get your new book in May for Duet. Okay. I
And
just spilled the beans, sorry. You guys are gonna get a new Duet book.
Sonnet is not Arcatella though, right?
It is not,
Got it.
but it is still energy efficient,
Okay.
so. And it's rated through the American Energy Rating Council. Okay.
A-R,
ERC. Yeah. So questions about Sonnet? Easy sale. Simple. 2 options, 2 opacities, top treatments, out the door, right? Love it. All right. How many do you want today? 4 or 5? Just kidding. All right. So that is Honeycomb family, right? So the only thing we didn't cover was applause, but you know it's a lower price point. Okay. You look at the book; it's exactly like Duet, but no Arcatella, and no track light and no light lock. That's it. 15% less. Same lifting system, same design options, except those 3 that I just mentioned.
Not energies.
It's still energy efficient. Yes.
Does it get the credit thing?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
For some of the, yeah.
Fabrics.
Okay.
So, and the system will tell you if you guys are using your mobile selling app on the field eventually when we get all set up, it's all set up in the system now for the tax credit
Nice.
on the mobile
So it
selling app.
tells you exactly if
Yeah.
it's eligible or not.
That app looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, some good stuff. All right, so I'm gonna move to shadings. Does everybody feel okay? Did I overwhelm you already? Just a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
It's expected.
okay,
That's why we recorded.
all right.
Keep it coming.
So we're gonna go with Pirouette next, okay? It's one of my favorite products. So when we're talking about, let me back up a little bit. Sonnet is exclusive to Hunter Douglas. Nobody else in the industry has a Sonnet product, okay? So Graber doesn't have it, Alta doesn't have it, Comfortex doesn't have it. So if somebody wants Sonnet, they have to come and get it from you because it's a Hunter Douglas exclusive product, and we have a patent on it. So there you go. Pirouette is the same way. It's exclusive to Hunter Douglas only. We do have a patent. I don't think we'll ever let go of this patent just because it's so unique, okay? This is gonna be one of your high price point products, okay? It's beautiful, it's very versatile, it gives you a lot of options, but it is pricey, okay? All right, so what it does, it helps diffuse the light, okay? And it gives you the opportunity to roll up the product all the way to a headrail and it disappears. That's your first option, right? We raise it down and I can tilt my vanes to determine how much light I want in that room, right? Beautiful. Instead of having drapery or panels or shears, I have it all here, okay? The actual vane comes in 2 sizes, okay? It comes in a 4-inch and it comes in a 5-inch. We sell tons of 5-inch vanes here in our market just because it opens bigger and it gives us a better view outside the window. When it is open, it has UV protection, so it does protect our furniture, our flooring, and everything else that we had talked about earlier, okay? Now, it does come in 2 different opacities, room darkening and light filtering. Could I do specialty windows with this? No. Okay, so just horizontal, no arches, no none of that fun stuff anymore, okay? But we do have coordination with other products, Duet being one, if we have a sliding glass door, okay? So you see the difference in both of these, and if once you open them, and then you have one that calls Clearview. You can have Clearview here, no? Okay, so this is Clearview, and this is our standard pirouette option. Clearview is gonna give the customer a better view outside. It's an unobstructed view because the weave that we use on that shear is much bigger to give you a grand view outside. And it's not as busy versus here, the weave is smaller, so I don't get to see much. Okay.
It's that black, your eye just moves through.
It's not a big difference.
You don't think
Right
so?
there, well, right there, I mean, it's a difference, but
Yeah.
not huge.
Yeah.
So you,
Well, when you have a bigger like window and they're out there and you're trying to see
Yeah,
like
makes
your
difference.
beach
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
and when the light comes in, it's just like you're outside. It's
So
kinda nice.
2 sizes of veins,
Mhm.
and then 2 different opacities for between the veins?
So 2 opacities, room darkening and light
And
filtering.
that's what you're
No,
referring to
between the veins.
between here?
Yeah.
Ah,
See how it has
This line.
there.
lines?
But when you open it, between the veins, is there any different
Yes.
option? Two
Two
options.
options.
And you're showing us them right
Yes,
there.
so this is
Okay.
clear.
careful, ladies, you've unleashed the beast.
I know, right? It's
getting
crazy.
all
Chat. I'm
crazy.
Like, ooh, what did you think? So yeah, but so you do have, besides, because that's where it gets a little confusing because we say opacities for everything, right? And you're thinking
Right.
room, light, what is it?
Yeah.
But because this product is lined with an opacity option of light filtering and room darkening, the design option is clear view, right? Where I'm gonna have a different weave with my shear versus traditional pirouette shear opening when I open up my veins. Okay,
And you said, and as far as the veins, the 2 sizes again?
4 and 5.
And 5 is more popular because it opens up wider.
Yes. Yeah, it has a contour feel, meaning that it can fold all the way in or partial,
Yeah.
right? So it just makes it look kind of like a Roman shade a little bit,
Yeah.
but with a view
It's got
outside.
an amazing base. I really love it.
And you say when it's open, it's still UV filtering,
Yeah.
regardless of
Regardless.
room
Because
darkness.
the shear is giving you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. So this is gonna be less UV. This is more.
And that's dark fabric, that's light fabric.
But it's the
That's
mesh.
crazy, yeah.
So the lighter is better UV protection, the lighter fabric?
This fabric
Lighter
here,
fabric,
yeah.
okay.
So this typically covers anywhere from 85 to 89 UV protection. This is anywhere from 60 to 70. But because it does have just a bigger weave, we let more light in,
Yeah.
right? So, but we sell a lot of this. Now you can do either one. So it is a standard feature with Pirouette, it's just depending. Now, I probably wouldn't sell this to somebody that lives right next to their neighbor because they really don't have a view. Like, you're not gonna appreciate it, right? But if I'm dealing with a customer that has a ranch or a pool or beach or whatever, or just has an amazing view of the hill country, then I would offer this, right? But we do sell quite a bit of it just because it's very unique, okay?
No specialty windows, that won't work anything like that,
No.
obviously, yeah.
So that's why it's so easy
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You know, here are your options, that's
Does
it.
it work for pretty big size windows, I mean?
It does.
Yeah.
So 120 by 120, we're gonna do Power View Plus. And if we have some, we do have the Sand Metallic collection. If you're gonna do manual or just regular Power View, that will go 120 by 120.
What about doors?
You can do doors, absolutely, but it's a cassette, so just make sure you set the expectation that there may be some projection, right? Now, you guys will love this. I use this all the time when I'm training and just customers in general, even for my own house, just as I'm upgrading a few things here and there. You guys have your headroll mounts in your books. This is the best thing ever. You put it against the window, you talk to the customer, and you say, hey, this is your cassette, based on our window, we may have a little bit of projection. Just so you know, this is where your cassette's gonna sit. Are you gonna be okay with that? Right? Versus you not explaining that and then you install it and they hate it. Why didn't you tell me? Blah, 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 right? So it gives you also an idea, will this product work for us or not? Maybe if I am limited, I go here with Sonnet because the cassette's smaller, right? And it also tells you if we have a battery behind it, this is how much projection we're gonna have. So these are so cool because it also lets you know, here comes my first fold for pirouette. And this is the separation between the fold as well too. So I mean, you can basically have your customer visualize everything that's gonna go in that window by using this, the fabric, and your cleans to demonstrate the differences. Okay, so we have hetero mounts in every book. So use them because they're lifesavers.
Yeah.
I love these.
CYA cards.
Yeah.
Yes. Every once in a while you get someone that gets real nitty gritty on the specs, like they want to ask you, you get some engineer,
Architects,
they want,
engineers are the worst. I'm like, yeah.
They want you to 1/8 of an inch. I'm like, it's like this.
You're like, it's pretty. Just kidding.
It's really pretty.
So, and you know, it does a really good job with if you want to do drapery, you can. If you want to do panels, I mean, it's up to you. But it's already soft enough that it's a nice product just to have in your window alone without anything else.
Yeah, it's really
You
elegant.
do what with picking? I'm sorry.
You could do panels and draperies with this as well too. Yeah, but I just think it's pretty by itself. As far as your lifting systems, you have Easy Rise, Ultra Glide. You have Soft Touch Motorization and Power View. Okay, so pretty simple. And then we, you know, UV protection. We added 3 new fabrics. You guys also have Illustra. So Illustra is a higher price point fabric collection that is housed in your pirouette book. It's about 15 to sometimes 20% more than the core fabrics that are in your book. But we do sell Illustra. People just like the finishes. I don't with me today.
It's just a fabric difference, right?
Yeah.
It's just not very fabric.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some fabrics next week. So
Okay.
I'm sure
Yeah,
it's all
so she can,
Alright.
but it is labeled in your book and it says Illustra, but you can see the difference in the
It's just the
finishes.
texture of the fabric
Yeah.
and it looks.
And the hardware is really jazzy, more nickels and
Fancy
bronzes and, you know, it's an upgrade, basically. So,
We have to do jazz.
I'm like, we bedazzle and we dazzle. Yeah. So, so UV protection is what we talked about. 22 color options. Yikes, there's a lot of color options with this collection, so you can go pretty crazy with it, just depending on what they want to do. But it is a great alternative, but it is a higher price point. That's okay. We can sell it because we sell a lot of it, and you guys sell quite a bit of it too. Okay. Any questions about pirouette? No, I'm losing you guys. I can tell you guys are like, ooh, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
Happens every Thursday.
So, are we good, or do you guys want to?
Dwayne has more questions. I can see it. He's got more
He's kind of
questions.
bouncing.
Get
He's ready to go.
Let's get ready to
When can I
pounce.
start selling Hunter?
I got a
It's
ton
gonna
of
be like
questions.
the
That's gonna be,
shade.
those questions are gonna be for a while now, so let's just
Yeah.
digest what we can when we get it.
And honestly, I mean, what we're finding with consumers now, and I'm sure you guys are doing the same, you know, hearing the same thing, but they're educating themselves before you come in. So they're gonna, even when you talk to them or when they pre-screen, you know, the girls are really good to pre-screen customers and they'll say, hey, they're interested in duet and applause and vignette. Well, hey, I already know ahead of time. I may have to review it. I may have to pick Carrie's or Tia's brain, whatever we need to do so you're comfortable. But that's what we're finding. Our customers are doing so much more homework now that they're like, this is what I want. Give me a price. Okay? Sometimes you want to hit them in the head because they're like, bring it all. You're like, what?
I want. I want to see everything.
So,
Back up the van.
I know. So it's kind of crazy. But, so yeah, so those are our top products right now. And then, of course, we have Silhouette. So if we're feeling a little overwhelmed, or you want me to keep going, or what do you want me to do?
No, keep going.
Okay.
Please.
Woo. Is that 5 o'clock? Or we say, like, does anybody have wine, margarita? Just kidding. Right.
Put a full bar right in there, whatever you want.
All right, so we talked about the pretty layering of pirouette. I didn't bring that Silhouette book.
I didn't.
Okay. So.
We talked about silhouette and pirouette last week, though, so some of this should still be a little fresh.
Okay, so silhouette is, we used to have a patent on silhouette. Now we don't, we let it go. So Graber has a knockoff silhouette, not as pretty.
Everybody has a knockoff, but none
Yeah.
of them are as pretty.
Norman, I think, tried and it didn't work out or something like that. But ours is just different just because of the different fabrics that we use and the shears that we use. So pirouette has a solid fabric and then you have the shear in the middle, right? Silhouette is actually the shear, the vein, and then another shear. So it's a little busy, but it allows you to still tilt veins. And then it also helps with the light being diffused when it comes into a room, okay? Same thing, UV protection, so it helps a lot with UV. It also helps with glare too, just like pirouette, just because of that harsh light that comes in. But it just gives you a different feel. It does roll up to a head rail, so just like pirouette, the fabric disappears, okay? All right, so lifting systems. We have Easy Rise, Ultraglide, Light Rise, Soft Touch Motorization, Power View. So here it is. They're all transferring again, right? We talked about that earlier. Now, Silhouette also offers a Lustra, so you will have the fancy fabrics in the Silhouette collection as well, okay? All right, so really what we do is we focus a lot on our fabrics. There's a lot of studies on trends, you know, what we can do just to help more with the light coming into a room and diffusing the light, and really just focusing on, you know, what we can provide that's different on the field since we went ahead and did away with our patent. So we're always upgrading Silhouette with different options, okay? It's very durable too. So just like we talked about pirouette, do I need to add draperies or panels to it? Not necessarily. It's beautiful. It has a shear, okay? The vein in the middle is shaped differently. It's actually an S shape, okay? So it does have a different shape to it because it lays differently, okay? It kind of rocks a little bit depending on how you're tilting, but it's a very unique design. If you see a knockoff, it's not really an S. It looks different. So it is, you know, there is a purpose for that S vein just for the tilting and the privacy. Now, we do offer light filtering options with Silhouette, and then we offer light dimming. We do not have blackout with just regular Silhouette. And the reason why is when the veins are closed, there's light bleeding that comes through the vein, okay? And that's the first thing you're gonna hear from your customer. Well, you told me that it was dark, you know, room darkening. Well, we don't have such a thing, and that's why we say light dimming. And your book also has light dimming fabrics. We do have some blackout options, but as far as just Silhouette in general, you want to do light dimming and just say, hey, we have light dimming, and there's going to be lights that come through the veins and also on the side of the veins, or the side of the window. Vein sizes, you have a 3 and a 4-inch vein size, okay? We sell tons of 3.
I'm sorry, what's more popular now?
3,
Wait, you were saying?
yeah, tons of 3 that we sell. So because of the rotation and the clearance, sometimes we can't do a 4-inch. So just depending on what we're doing, but 3 is our go-to. I think you guys sell quite a few.
Yeah.
I mean, quite a lot of 3.
Quite a lot of
Yeah.
the 3.
3.
And that's one of the things that sets Silhouette aside apart from some of the other offerings from other vendors, is most of them don't have the bigger vein option.
Mm-hmm. So we can do fabric wrap. We do fabric wrap standard with Silhouette on your head rail. So just to make it look finished. You do have a sister collection that is a lower price point, and it's called Nantucket. It looks exactly like Silhouette. It has the same lifting system options. The fabrics are not as pretty as Silhouette, but they're still nice. But if for somebody who's in a budget, we can, you know, work our way down to Nantucket. Okay.
Any other major differences, or is it just fabrics?
Vein sizes too. So we can't do a 4-inch in Nantucket. That's only for Silhouette.
Only a 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's kind of set us apart a little bit. You also have Clearview, just like we have with Pirouette. So you do have a better view if you do select Clearview with Silhouette. We don't have Clearview with Nantucket, just Silhouette. Okay, so we showed you what Pirouette with Clearview look like. It's exactly the same thing with Silhouette. You just have that bigger weave on your shear to let you see outside with a better view. So, and this is your traditional here. So let's pretend this is silhouette. This is what the silhouette would look like, and then of course your clear view option, but with your veins. If they want a room darkening option, we have dual light. So remember we talked about dual light with Duet. So dual light is an option that we offer for silhouette. You do have a roller in the back, and then you have the first layer of fabric in the front, which is your silhouette fabric. It is available in motorization. It is available in a manual option with ultra glide as well too. Okay, so hey, if I want to block a lot of the light, this is a great option. Okay. It does allow for you to roll up that roller in the back and still enjoy the natural light and tilt your mains. Have you guys seen one of these yet?
I did.
Okay.
Just that white fabric in the back. Right, that
Yeah.
is just the white fabric. I like this picture because you can see, it's a good example, if you had that to show a client, that you can see there is still light on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Just so they don't have an unrealistic expectation.
The only thing that really covers is just the light bleeding between the veins, really.
Is this the one that's also like from the outside you can see the cord, the weaving?
No, that's gonna be like your, like the Roman shades, but yeah, not the Hunter Douglas Roman shades. Oh, Providence, yeah,
That's what.
Providence,
Mhm.
okay.
And then you have liner options for that too. But
Yeah.
yeah, so this is all covered, so it's a nice treatment in your window. Questions about silhouette? So you have dual light, you have 3 and 4 inch veins, you have clear view, your header is always covered with fabric,
And you have halo.
and you also have halo. So halo is a little different because halo is a 4-inch vein, and just imagine a shutter. Shutter opens and closes upward, right? So depending on what you're doing, but it closes upward, and so does halo. Let me see if I can get a quick video on halo so you guys can see that. And we sell quite a bit of halo actually.
I think it's kind of revitalized interest in the silhouette, at least
Mm-hmm.
what I'm seeing. People, when they come into the gallery, they really like it. They have a large display, and it's really nice.
That means it opens up or can be tilted up instead of down.
Yeah.
Upward like a shutter, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the distinguishing factor of Halo?
Yeah, that's the entire purpose of it, is it lets you have more tilt option on that vein. So you can tilt light up instead of just down.
Okay, so let's see. I think this is somebody's video, but we'll just steal it just to watch it.
At Philip Ferguson, we know that when it comes to your business, time is money. That's why you can count on us for all your home improvement needs.
Light is what truly defines a room, and when it changes, the mood changes. Silhouette window shadings transform light, sparking interest, and enhancing the aesthetics of a room. Soft fabric veins appear to be floating between sheer fabric panels, creating a beautifully warm glow and softening the view to the outdoors. Simply tilt the veins to achieve your desired level of light, or to conceal your sanctuary from the outside world. And now, we introduce Silhouette Halo, a new option with a
Isn't that
wider
pretty?
range of vein rotation.
Ooh la
Redirecting
la.
sunlight down, across, or up and away for greater control over incoming light and privacy throughout the day. Silhouette Window Shavings by Hunter Douglas.
And that has clear view. So Silhouette Halo is standard with clear view. So you'll see a lot of clear view with Halo just because of the, oops, sorry.
I'm here to review, talk about the Hunter Douglas silhouette.
I don't think he's gonna top that last video.
No,
I'm just saying.
that's what I'm saying too.
He does not have nearly the enthusiasm.
No, he's not
It
as
was a cool
excited.
video.
So with the halo, it can go either direction.
Mhm.
Okay.
The biggest thing is that it tilts upward just like a shutter, and when you're looking outside, it looks like a shutter,
But
which
it
is
doesn't
nice.
only
That's
go
what I like
up
about
and
it.
down. It can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get different ways of rotating that vein. Now the only thing is that when it is rotated upward, there's more light that filters in, just like you would with a shutter. Yeah.
but you can control that light better. Whereas
Absolutely.
with the standard option, it's just a 90-degree blade
Mhm.
down.
Difference in cost roughly?
So Halo is actually a 15% surcharge than a standard silhouette. So I would say maybe for a 46 by 60 retail would be maybe $1,200.
So it's not a huge, I mean, it's already an expensive product, so it's not.
And that's retail, of course. I mean, not your cost or anything like that, but that's what it would be like. Yeah, so some good options there. All right, so any other questions about Halo silhouette? Anything
I
else?
don't think so.
Okay. There's gonna be some changes in Vignette as well too, so I don't know if you wanna go through Vignette, but we can go to Luminette if you want.
Yeah, let's do Luminette, because we actually haven't talked about Luminette really. Let's do Luminette. I didn't realize big changes.
Oh, great.
Yay, that's something new.
Since we got the handle.
Just when this was getting easy.
Yeah, I thought all that. I can tell you're working on it. You got it, you got it. It's all good.
Yeah.
Come on.
Another member of the Et family.
Yes.
So we're skipping vignette.
Yeah, we're gonna do some updates on the Vignette. We're just waiting on the whole like core government regulation in May, so they're gonna be updating a few things. So I don't wanna go into too much detail because some of the design options are gonna be changing.
Vertical
Okay.
option.
Yes.
So is that the biggest difference in Luminette?
Mm-hmm. Illuminat's just beautiful. It's just like a silhouette, but vertically applied. It still has the veins, just like silhouettes. The best way of describing it. It does traverse either right or left, or center stack. It comes in room darkening options, right? But it's a
When you
sheer.
say traverse right or left, you mean just simply coming from the right, coming from the left, or having both sides that meet in it?
There you
Just
go.
check.
Yeah. So it does offer the same features as a silhouette and pirouette as we were talking, because it does have the veins. So it also helps a lot with glare. It helps a lot with UV protection, diffusing the light. It really complements a room when you are working on having some type of silhouette or pirouette, even duet products. We do a lot of crossover with a lot of our products using Luminette when we are working on a large window span or a vertical application. The nice thing that sets us apart from a traditional vertical is that yes, even though it glides and it's on a track, it does also tilt, which is really nice. So it does overlap just like a silhouette, right, to help with the light that comes in a room, or also you can open it partially, fully, when you're tilting your vane to let all that light come in a room.
So
So-
they're still referred to as veins, just vertical veins.
Yes,
And they
sir.
are connected by a material in between.
Yes,
Not like the old-fashioned verticals from the
Mhm.
80s.
yes. So this is a prettier look, and especially if somebody's like, hey, do you have verticals in your home?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just like pointing at him
I'm
like,
just laughing at him going into teacher mode.
It's
Right?
gonna be a
Oh,
long
okay.
time.
We use the window coming prof.
So we, what was I gonna say? I forgot. Oh, so if somebody doesn't wanna, have the expense of a sheer and still have to worry about a liner or, drapery, this is a great option. Okay, it is a higher price point because it does quite a bit. And we'll talk about some of the new trap features that Luminette has to offer.
It looks pretty tall, like, does it go?
Pretty wide, yeah.
These
Pretty
will go really
wide.
wide, they go only to what, 12 feet?
There's nothing that
12 feet.
connects it on the bottom though, right?
12 feet
No.
Yeah.
height, yeah.
Just like a sheer.
They'll go really wide.
Like, is it attached
It's-
on the ceiling? Like, where is it?
It has a drapery rod, so just depending on how you're gonna install, we can do, traditional side installation, ceiling mount. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do with this. It's just like a rod. So really, when you're putting it together, you have the drapery rod that comes one color to coordinate your sheer, and we're just putting in the fabric with the pins. So it is a scissor track, which is awesome, and it glides really nicely.
By scissor track.
I'll show you right now. Let me show you. So this is my scissor track.
Good
Vertical blinds typically don't have such a track. By having this technology, it allows us to glide and open and not stumble when we're trying to open the sheer. Okay, it doesn't get stuck, which is really nice. Now, having this scissor track allows me as a consumer to partially have my veins open. Say I'm traversing my drapery, and I open my veins halfway point, and I can have my whole view on the right-hand side. This track allows me to close my veins if I want, or fully open them at that halfway point. So that's why we need the scissor track for the gliding and the traversing and the rotating of the veins.
Picture that?
I'm sorry?
Can you have a picture of what you do?
Another video.
I have a video, so.
Unlike the ones from the 80s.
Yeah.
They stack up in the middle and start falling apart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the
and
old
then
track technology.
One or two of them works and the other ones don't.
Yeah.
And like if something happens to, say your customer tells you, I hate the fabric, I want a different fabric. You have to take down the whole track and put everything in because of the scissor track technology. We just can't just clip it on really fast. So there is a lot of reasons why we do that, is because of everything that track can do to have us, rotate, traverse, and fully close the product. So let me see.
Yeah, we had those in our last house, and my kids ripped them all off because they wanted to be peacocks. So
Ooh,
That's
it's a good call.
that was a great day.
creative, but
Yeah.
That's very creative.
it was a little frustrating for me.
Yeah.
Like they just came off so easy.
You're getting that deposit back.
Yeah. So much for that.
Hope you took some pictures.
Peacocks. Kids.
If you've got a flat roof like this one right here, and you don't want to spend tens or even hundreds.
What's the other one?
Hey.
Privacy shears from companies offer a wide range of light control options with a sheer face fabric to let attach soft fabric veins that rotate to keep light out. For easy operation, select the combination wand cord system. Pull the cord to traverse the fabric and twist the wand to rotate the veins. Or select the traveling wand that both traverses the fabric and rotates the veins. With our exclusive soft track system, the head rail is completely concealed when the shear is drawn close. Our PowerView motorization system allows you to choose from a selection of controls, such as the pedal scene controller. Select a pre-programmed scene that will transform the light and mood in your home to create the right ambiance for any moment. Be sure to consider all the control options available with PowerView motorization, including integration with your own smart home system. Luminette Privacy Shears from Hunter Douglas.
Okay, let me go back real quick to show you that. I don't think this is a video that I was looking for,
From Hunter
but
Douglas.
But right there, you can see.
it helps. You see
Yeah.
that? So if I wanted to, with a new track, the veins that are fully open right now, I can close those veins and still have all of that light come in on the opposite side where I don't have any shears, right? So that's what the new scissor track allows us to do, is to still rotate even though the luminette is not in the full closed position. So it's really cool. So we sell quite a bit of luminette like in beach areas. South Padre Island, this is like the product that we sell like all day long, just because people want to have that view by the ocean and everything else. But it is a beautiful alternative. It is pricey, but it's, it coordinates, it does. I think it's probably less expensive than
Custom
draperies,
drapery,
right?
yeah.
So,
It's on par or less expensive.
and it, it has the same function because you have your liner and your shear.
And it's warranted in a way that drapery never would be.
And the rod, it's motorized, it's less expensive than a drapery motorized rod. So, and we can butt these as well too. So
And what?
butt them together. So if we have a very large opening and we need to still cover quite a bit, we can do two luminettes together, butt them together, and it still looks really pretty. So that's an option.
It looks like that's what's in the photo, right?
Yeah.
So it's something that we can definitely do. So the
They
video,
open from both sides, right?
depending on how you're going to traverse it. So it's like a draper. We have to either do a red. Okay, let me rephrase that. When you mean opening from both sides, what do you mean by
So if
that?
I'm facing the window and I want to open the right side of the shade, I can. Or if I want to open the left side of the shade, I can. Go either direction.
Depending on how it's ordered.
Yes. So either right
Not
or
full
left.
Oh, we can't do both.
Not at
No.
the same time.
If you want to do both, then you have to do a center stack, right? So it goes on the right and then goes on the left.
But you can order that too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or you can
It's
do
not
it
like
right.
a double hung. It's like one way.
Yeah.
So just depending on what you want to do.
Okay.
So you're either doing French or
Right.
single
Or a
slider.
single, and you're deciding
Yeah.
which side you want it to stack on, the right
It's
or
kind
the
of
left.
like your verticals, yeah, just a little different on the rotation.
And usually if we can, we'll go out past, so that if they want it all the way open, they can still have their
Full
glasses.
view.
So until
If they
that
have enough wall
7 or
space.
8 inches, so when we measure, we add that in to the measurement for
Correct.
that.
To
And
give
this
you
is
that
gonna be
clearance.
more than 7 or 8 inches, that's something with the Vertiglide, you have a small stack, so
Mhm.
you might
This is
have
small.
7 or 8 inches, 9 inches, but that's the minimal stack you're gonna have on any vertical product. With this, it's gonna have quite a bit of stack.
Yeah.
So there's a guide that will give you those numbers and kind of tell you what to look at. But yeah, if they want it to mount or to stack off the window, you're gonna add that to your measurement.
Most of your verticals have a bigger stack. Right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vertical, but yeah, it's definitely there. So you can do, with the new scissor track as well too, we could glide a lot quicker and faster. Before it was so much harder. It would get stuck as customers were traveling with that wand. So imagine if you had a large window span and you're just like trying to make it over to the other end, it was hard. So with this track, we can just literally glide over, open and close, whatever it is that we're gonna do.
And that thing holding it and trying to twist, oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
so they've upgraded that.
Yeah, so we've upgraded
Upgrading that.
But
Yeah.
honestly, we sell so much Power View with Luminette.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what we sell. If you're gonna sell this, it's hard to do a manual just because it's a large opening. So I would definitely, recommend for you to upgrade to Power View. Okay.
Especially saving your settings, that's gotta be a big thing, right?
Mhm.
On this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll have tons of fabrics. You also have Illustra and Luminette. So it's a little higher price point, but it is there and it's an option. Okay. Are you guys gonna be doing your own measuring in the beginning or how's that gonna work? No.
I mean, they'll measure the price, but they're not gonna measure for install.
Okay. Okay, any questions on Luminette? Very basic. Right, left, center stack, Power View all day long, right? Shears.
Power view.
Yeah. That's all we want to do is Power View. Just kidding. They're looking at me like, what?
You're not kidding.
Actually, that's it, it just goes with the motor. That's
I
all.
know, right? That's your only option.
Just one option.
I was just saying with that one, you do, if it's motorization, it has to have, a plug-in.
It does.
So then you wanna make sure you've got an outlet that's available to.
To plug in and it's,
Oh, Luminette has to have a plug-in?
if you're gonna motorize it, yes.
Oh, it does not like that.
It can't operate by battery, it's
No,
Too much-
it's
too
too
much
much.
demand.
There'd
Too
be
much
a lot
robust
of,
to the product.
yeah, a lot of recharging right away.
Ah.
Yeah. So usually it's a
So
plug-in
no
application.
power, no movement.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Manual would be
Yeah.
your cord or
And
your
you
one.
can't have manual and power? I mean, can you move it manually even if it's power?
No. So you would have to just do
No
manual.
power, no movement.
See, that's the disadvantage of that versus Vertiglide, because I can do either one.
Yeah,
See?
Vertiglide's the only one that gives you that manual.
Manual and power option. So, but you can do quite a bit there. But, like I said, with Luminette, it crosses over to a lot of our other products. So you'll find the same fabric names in the Luminette book as you would with
So
Pirouette
if
and Wet.
If you're doing windows and a door, you can match them up nicely that way, is what you're saying?
Yes,
Correct?
correct. Yeah. So we're doing more of that to help you coordinate. Designer banded shades. So different feel, different look. They're known as zebra shades in the field just because you do have a fabric strip that's going across and then you also have a sheer right underneath. They do overlap, right, to give you some privacy. We've gone a little crazy and we've added geo shapes to the collection too, so they're a lot of fun. But just a preference for the consumer, because to me it could get a little busy, but it is very contemporary and very different, right? Instead of having just a traditional roller shade, you can offer them a banded shade. So we do have 2 opacities. You have a semi sheer, and then you also have a room darkening option. So we have some fabrics that are room darkening in the banded shade collection as well. This book is getting ready to be updated as well, but it's not going to be till fall, and we're going to just be adding more geo shapes and more fabric colors.
How popular are these?
Fairly popular.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a lower cost option than your pirouettes?
Then pirouette, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably right at a roller and screen, maybe a little higher sometimes, depending
Yeah.
on the fabric.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You guys do a
We
lot of
get
this here?
asked about them a lot. I don't know that we sell them as often as, but people, have seen them and they want the information and they ask about them quite a
And
bit.
these are the ones where you like trying to time the stop.
I was gonna say, the thing I noticed in the showroom is you gotta time
It's,
it.
yeah,
just
that's
right
where
to get
having
it.
the app and
Yeah.
having it all set up and scheduled where they work together
Right.
would be better, because with the remote, you're trying to be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right there, right there,
Yeah.
no, right there.
And anytime you guys do these, like, you know, your installer could always set favorites for them. So they just press the button
Yeah.
and it just aligns with
Perfectly.
the other
Mhm.
band.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let the installer have it.
Yeah, so that way, you know, your customer's not trying to, you know, hit it right on point to make sure that it overlaps.
Yeah.
But, you know, the cassette option, it comes in small or large square cassette. It is fabric wrapped, so it looks really nice because it starts with your full sheer and then your band fabric, and then you have your product that's right underneath with your sheer and then band. So it's consistent.
Are they all cassetted or are they open roll sometimes?
No, it all has to be a cassette. Mhm. It has to be a cassette. So there is quite a few things that you can do. So you can see there's a room darkening option, light filtering. It does pretty good with light. I gotta say, I mean, those bands do overlap really nicely. So there's hardly any light bleeding between the bands, which is nice.
But this doesn't have tracks on each side.
It does not. No. So what you see is what you get, pretty much.
So you might have a little light leakage on each side.
Yes.
You will have, because it's a roller.
Mm-hmm. And there may be some projection because it's a cassette too, so just depending on what we're working on.
Mm.
So inside mount, outside mount, you can do these on doors as well too, on any rectangular window. I don't have any specialty for this either, so no arches, no circles, none of that fun stuff, okay? You do have some lifting system options here too, so you have custom clutch as an option. There is no light rise in this collection, okay? There is soft touch, there's ultra glide, and there's power view. This is our Geo Shapes. They're fun,
Yeah.
but you know, it'd be kind of crazy if you put that in a bedroom, so.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do a whole huge room, I don't think, with that.
And these obviously open all the way.
Yes, they hide in a headrail,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they just give you, the only difference is that you can have light come in and just, you know, determine how much light you want with that sheer in the middle, or just complete closure where you have your bands. So
Yeah,
think
it's
about
kinda
it being
cool.
like a silhouette, pirouette, because it's versatile that way. But it does go all the way up between
This is
the
the only product that would give you a unique geometric shape to
There you
go
go.
with. So
Yeah,
somebody
and then-
likes that.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to add more, so,
But it would
yeah.
more different shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So the fall you'll have a new book, and that will highlight more fabric color options and then more geo shapes. So
How good are y'all with updating the app every time there's these updates that you talked about?
quick,
Okay.
we're pretty quick. There's always firmware updates that we send right away to
Good.
just kind of. But you also have to do your part and update your app. A lot
Sure,
of
yeah.
people don't do their setting, you know, their app settings, and if they don't, then you can't use the app. It
Yeah.
won't reflect any of the new information.
Got it.
So make sure your software is also updated on your app. It's really important. So, especially for price changes too, because usually, just so you know, when we have a new product launch, like we are in May, there's going to be a price increase. So, but everything nowadays is a price increase, right?
So when we use the app, it will have our prices built into it, so we just update, it updates with our,
Right,
yeah.
yes, with our pricing
Yeah.
structure, it will be set,
Okay.
so when they have a price increase,
So
you
you're
won't
not
have
worried
to
about trying to
add
multiply or
everything,
divide
right,
everything.
it'll just be there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Pretty quick, which is going to be nice for you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
to
nice.
have everything there.
Mhm.
So you guys have gone over screens and rollers.
Yes.
So you guys feel pretty comfortable with screens and rollers, right?
Keep asking that question.
I'm like,
That-
right, yeah.
That's a loaded question,
I
right?
know, right? I'm like waiting for you guys to
Have a
say.
general concept of what that is?
But you know, just like the basics are lifting systems, the design options that we have available, right? Because you can do dual light with this line too, dual rollers, channels, yeah?
I understand they exist.
Okay.
Okay,
And that's
well, that's a
okay.
start.
I mean, that's a start. I mean, just remember, your consumer is gonna love your experience, and at the time that you're with them, you're gonna be knowledgeable. You're gonna know. If not, you'll at least know where to look for things. So don't be scared. I mean, it's a little overwhelming, but it's good stuff. We will not do patio shades anymore. So in your book, we may want to just mark
Yeah,
it off.
I will do that.
We used to do exterior shades. We don't do them anymore. So,
Just gone entirely.
Do any of our companies do?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah. And we just bought one, so I think
Cover
that's
your
why.
ears too. Yes, they do.
Yeah. We just bought one too, so I think that's why they're discontinuing this. Because then you guys probably will have access to the new line.
Okay.
It's a very popular product now, though, isn't it?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
everybody wants outdoor living.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So, and we, honestly, I'm kind of glad we discontinued it because we can't do motorization with it. And most of the outdoor
That's what they
living,
want.
they
Yeah.
want motorization.
Yeah.
So we had cables and and it's just not, I mean, to me, it's like, why even have a shade if you have cables? Because you have to undo the cable.
Especially those big ones outdoors.
Reverse it.
Yeah.
So the new company, is all motorized and they're gonna have some stuff, yeah.
Somebody else they bought.
We bought, yeah, so they'll, I think that's why they discontinue our lines, because they're gonna bring their line in, yeah. So, top treatments, and then Parkland wood blinds, did you cover that?
Not really, we haven't done a lot on the blinds.
Oh, we don't sell them much, just
We
kidding.
don't.
We want
What's
you to
this?
sell this other stuff.
We do have a lot of like arch top and circle top windows. What is the solution for the cassette? Do we do like a fabric up there? Do we do a fill in on it? Do we do something to?
If you can't get them to a shutter, which we can make completely functional in that shape, we can add a Palladian shelf that goes, or some products will end mount, so that you could just do, you know, across where the arch starts.
So you don't see the arch in the
Right.
interior?
Right, or we have some specialty products that can have a non-functional
Just a fill?
add-on, right?
Yeah, so you have some right here with Parkland. We do a lot of Parkland stuff too for specialty. So you have those little angles there that you can do a Parkland shade. Sometimes if they're stationary, you'll let us know. Do we wanna keep it open if it has veins, right? Just for the veins to be open, and stay that way, or do we wanna close them? But there are ways to cover it. Parkland's one, Vignette is another that we can cover. Duet is another for specialty. There is some silhouette as well too. I think when we were looking at silhouette back here, there's some angles.
Yeah, we just found out the other day you can do an oval in silhouette and not in a duet. I didn't realize that.
So that's,
great.
you know, if you see those angles in that one, like, specialty in the very top, we could definitely do that with silhouette. But it is a stationary feature, so.
So it's stationary, but it doesn't rise and fall, but it has no tilt feature either.
Correct.
Correct.
So you would
Yes,
order
that's
it
how it
either
is.
closed or
open. So that's the only option is stationary. So this is ordered as open with the veins open. Or if your customer said, hey, just, I don't want the light coming in, then we just order them as closed and they're stationary and that's it. We won't have any function of operation on those specialties. But, I mean, typically that's how an arch is anyway.
If you want a product that is functional, it would be shutters.
Shutters, and there's a duet option too.
That would be functional. And power.
No power.
No power. Shutters power and especially windows?
I don't think we can do any
Well, yeah,
power
no
on
lines.
that.
So you need something, if you want to open a hood, you know, a wand or something?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
if
you can do
it's-
an extension pole.
Extension pole?
But,
Or continuous arch, I mean, if it's just one
yeah,
panel.
right,
Yeah.
if it's a one shape, which is typically what we do if it's an arch,
Sure.
then it just is factored in and it works on the same as everything else.
With the tilt bar or the
Yeah.
hidden tilt or whatever it is that you're ordering,
Yeah.
but that is an option. So, plus they're hard to reach, right? So who's gonna open them? Just kidding. So you do have that option,
Yeah,
but
with something like that, you know, like privacy is not your concern, you're looking for the continuity of the load, maybe some light control, so,
Right, that's what I was thinking about. Like,
yeah.
so this is a vignette too. Oh. Let me see. I think I froze a little bit. Shoot.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is vignette here. If you want to turn around and just look on my iPad here.
Yeah.
But that is with an arch. Sometimes we do need a decorative window shelving, which is what we could order, and that just to separate it. So the rectangular piece of it is functional, and the rest is just stationary.
Okay, so that's nice, but it does create a nice look.
It
Yeah,
does.
it gives you that
It's a
continuity.
finished
And you
look.
just open it, yeah, so, okay, yeah.
So it still has function, but just not on the specialty part of it.
Staff just stopped at that darker line.
I wouldn't expect it to open, I just, yeah, it's kind of.
Just something for them.
Yeah, just how you feel that space.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And people are gonna
So,
ask
not
too.
those stupid fans.
Oh, those are so, yeah.
Yeah. And in your new showroom, you'll have, in your new showroom, you'll have the specialty shapes.
Yes.
You'll have a specialty shape wall with our products that will show different shapes.
That's a good
So
idea.
your customers can see it, and you can show it to them, or if you want to take a picture of it, whatever.
Yeah.
That way people can see what that construction looks like and how it works.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
When was that gonna be done again?
April 6th. I mean, first, yeah.
Well, 2 days of installation, so
And
typically
then
April 9th, you'll be
install,
like
April 9th,
fully
okay.
installed. Yeah. So it's kind of nice. What else? I know it's exciting. Okay, so really the only thing we have is Everwood and Parkland, but Design Studio was the last thing, but we'll just
We're
wait
not
on that
gonna-
too. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna cover that with them anyway, cause I'm not gonna overwhelm them with trying to sell soft products at this point, you know,
No,
so.
no. Just,
Okay.
you know, feel comfortable with what you have. Any questions or anything that you may need from me?
Not yet.
I'm sure in the future.
We definitely will.
For sure,
I'm
yeah.
thinking
When
Tia
add you
will
to speed
come back.
dial.
Right?
On the 23rd,
Mhm.
possibility, if we can still do that and do one more run through with the app with us.
Yes.
Is kind of what we were thinking.
Maybe we can work on hopefully getting everything updated by
That's
then.
the intention is to have everything operational, all of our pricing plugged in by then. We've got a meeting set to talk about what that's gonna be. So we have everything where you can actually do real-time quotes and we can go through that and practice it.
And then anything that we give you guys as far as a free lifting system, the app, once we update it, we'll let you know too. You can extend it to the customer or not. It's your choice. But it's nice to have as a tool just in case we need to close a sale or we're coming against another dealer or whatever. We can pull out our free light rise or whatever that we have in promotion. Okay, so that helps quite a
That's
bit.
cool.
We've got, so we still need to do some shutter training. And then next week, I think next week we'll do shutter training and we're gonna talk about measuring windows and also choosing colors. So that's what we'll be doing next week, and then if we can follow up with another mobile app, and then I think that's, you know, not done, but that's definitely not done, but the bulk of the, you know, the most important thing.
The end of the introduction.
That's the.
And I still owe you, I'm going through every line for you guys to go through fabric and sizes of, you know, how wide and how long we can go. So it's easy for you guys just to pick maybe those few fabrics for now
Nice.
and go through and say, hey, I can do Power View with these 4 fabrics
This is
and
my
Light
max,
Rise with
this is
this.
my-
Be huge.
That's very
Blah, blah,
nice.
blah.
Yeah,
Just to
that'd
kind of
be
get
really
you in
nice
the
to
door a
have.
little comfortable, and then after that, if, you know, they want something totally different, then that's when we start looking for stuff. But at least so you're not too overwhelmed with all of these different options and lifting systems and everything else, at least you can pick
Yeah,
from
so
every
much.
collection, this is how wide, how long I can go,
That'd be awesome.
okay? So I'll have that done for you guys. Well, thanks for your time. I appreciate
you,
it.
Tia.
I'm so glad that you guys are excited about Hunter Douglas. Forget your other brands. Just kidding. Right?
There aren't any other.
What other brands?
Right? And then,
Yeah.
Didn't you say, is Graber a Hunter Douglas company?
No, Alta is.
Alta?
owned by Hunter Douglas. Graber is
We do,
definitely
lines
competing.
Midwest.
yeah, they're on their own. We own so many though. It's insane. I'm surprised we haven't bought them yet.
I
or
am too,
Norman.
but they were just bought out by somebody else.
Yeah, so I mean, it's crazy. We own a lot of window covering companies and everything else. It's crazy. It starts to get a little confusing after a while.
Alrighty. Yeah, I was gonna go through some of the measuring